Let me ask you something. Have you ever had one of those weeks where you've worked incredibly hard in your business, yet when you look at the bank balance, it somehow doesn't reflect the effort? You're busy, work keeps coming in, but the financial pressure, it never really seems to go away. After nearly 40 years working with small business owners, I can tell you there's a reason this happens. And interestingly enough, it's usually not what people think. In fact, it usually comes down to a few things most people were never taught when they started their business. And once you see it, it's very hard to unsee. Hi, I'm Jen Richardson and I'm the founder of 123 Financial Group. We work exclusively with small business owners just like you. And every week I sit down with small business owners who say exactly the same thing. Jen, I'm flat out. The phone keeps ringing, there's plenty of work. And then they lean forward and say something like this: but I just don't understand where the money goes. Now, if you've ever felt that way, please know this: you are absolutely not alone. Most people start a business for freedom to earn more, freedom to control their time, freedom to build something for their family. But what often happens instead is this: you become the salesperson, the bookkeeper, the admin person, the problem solver. And you're answering emails after dinner and doing quotes on weekends. And all on top of that, you're trying to remember when your BAS is actually due. And somewhere along the way, the business stops supporting your life and you start supporting the business. That's exhausting because most people in this position don't feel irresponsible. They feel tired, really, really tired. And tired people often end up running their businesses in reaction mode instead of with a plan. So here's the interesting thing. The problem usually isn't effort. The problem is structure. Working harder in a business without financial structure underneath, it's a bit like pushing a car that doesn't have an engine. You can push all day, you'll still get tired, but you won't get very far. And that's exactly why we created something called the Profit Engine. Let me show you what I mean. So the first pillar is clarity. This simply means knowing what's actually happening financially in your business. Your profit, your cash flow, your margins, your tax obligations, because you can't fix what you can't see. The second pillar is control. And this is where systems come in. So putting structures around your money so tax isn't a shock, expenses don't creep up quietly, and cash flow stops keeping you awake at night. Because money behaves when you give it structure. And the third pillar is growth. And growth isn't about working more hours, it's about improving what already exists. So better pricing, better margins, better systems, because busy doesn't automatically mean profitable. A profitable business does not always equal a wealthy owner. And this is something I see all the time. A business can look great from the outside, and yet the owner still feels stressed about money. That's the gap we're trying to close. You know, I had a client recently who came to see me feeling exactly like this. They had plenty of work, turnover looked good, but cash flow always felt tight. When we unpacked everything, we found a few small issues. Pricing had slowly slipped, costs had crept up, tax wasn't being set aside, and no one was reviewing the numbers regularly. Nothing dramatic, just a series of small leaks. Once we brought in clarity, control, and growth, same business, same workload, but everything changed. The biggest thing they said to me afterwards was this: I finally feel like I can breathe again. And that's powerful stuff. Now here's one simple habit I encourage every small business owner to adopt. It takes about 15 minutes a week. Once a week, sit down and I want you to check 5 things. How much cash is actually in the bank account? What invoices are still outstanding? What bills are coming up in the next week? What your gross profit roughly looks like? And whether you've set enough money aside for tax. That's it. It sounds simple, but it prevents most financial surprises. Think of it like checking the fuel gauge in your car. You wouldn't drive around for weeks without knowing how much petrol you have. Yet that's exactly what many business owners do with money. Because knowledge is power, money is a tool, you just need to look at it regularly. And if you'd like help doing this, I've created something called the Business Health Snapshot. It's a quick check you can do that helps you see where your profit and cash flow might be leaking in your business. You can download it using the link below and complete it in about 10 minutes. It's a very simple way to get some clarity. And if you go through that snapshot and realize there are a few areas you'd like help with, you're welcome to book a clarity call with me at 123 Financial Group. The link is in the description, and we can walk through your numbers together and work out what your next steps might look like. But just a quick note before we finish. Today's video is general information only, and it doesn't take into account your personal circumstances. Always get advice specific to your situation before making financial decisions. If this conversation resonated with you, give the video a like so other business owners can find it, and subscribe, because in the next video, we're going to talk about something that surprises a lot of people: why profitable businesses still go broke. It happens far more often than people realize. Remember, your business should support your life, not consume it. So I'll see you in the next video.